guys. I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Weapon H, all in one podcast. I'm your host, Herman Austin, aka Weapon H. Before we get into today's topic, just want to make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the likes button. Also, make sure you hit that notifications button so you will be notified when a new episode drops. Try to make sure we're dropping every Monday. So make sure you come check in. If you don't get the notification, at least come back, try to check in on Mondays. So today, we're going to go into a topic that pretty much we all have to deal with. And there's multiple ways of dealing with it. And that's the topic of aging. We have a lot of different ways of dealing with age. And you come down to the fact whether it's, you hear a lot of things everywhere, whether it's on social media, regular TV. I mean, you always hear about whether it's a state of mind or whether it's actual physical of degradation, which will, cause the body to age, cause the body to slow down, cause the body to do things that, you weren't able to do in your younger years. And there's a couple answers to those questions. I mean, for that, I would say I would say it's some of both. Me, on the other hand, those that know me, those that see me, those who see me doing a lot of the things I do, to me, it's all up here. It truly is. It's more mental than anything because I'm sure, we all learned in school, even those who didn't catch it in school, you heard it somewhere where technically the human body is supposed to last 120 years. Yes, we know next to no one makes it that long, but there are a lot of factors and environmental factors, mental factors that contribute to not too many people making it to that, the length, to 120. But if looking based on those factors, just based on the fact that it was the human body is originally designed to last 120 years, you 40 people start about getting old at 40. That's a third of what life is truly supposed to be designed to be. So, but you end up finding out that a lot of it just comes from your mindset, your mind state. I mean, over time, if you keep telling your body, I'm getting old, what do you think your body's going to do? It's going to react. You constantly saying something all the time, it tends to become a reality. It becomes your reality because, in essence, you're manifesting to yourself that you're becoming older. And just thinking about that all the time, you can even go to the law of attraction. Think about it enough, that's what it's going to be. Whether it's thinking negatively, positively, however you decide to live your life while you're here, if you continuously project that into the universe, project that into the air, project that into your surroundings, it tends to become your reality. And sure, I know you're going to sit up here, you're going to have the detractors that say, oh my God, it's not based on just how you think. It does play a big part of it. Because imagine when you don't think about it as much, when you start doing all the things that you were doing before, you tend to find out, damn, I can actually do it. And I, for one, the word, I'll use it for this podcast for today, but that word old doesn't come out of my mouth. It just doesn't, because I don't feel that I am. There are a few things I probably can't do like I did maybe in my 20s. Most of that would be related to basketball, I would say. Being able to jump as high, maybe, and some of the things, and maybe run as fast, but I can do it pretty much everything I was doing in my 20s and 30s. I mean, and it's really come down to a mind state. And yes, you do have some physical things that contribute to it as well. And one of the things that pops up quite a bit is, we have, just over time, your body gradually starts to, I guess you want to say, break down. But, and I see a lot of research that on the telomere caps. And for those of you that don't really know what a telomere cap is, it's a long strand of repetitive DNA at the end of every chromosome, which acts as a protective cap. And as you age, those caps get shorter. And the shorter they get, that's how the aging process starts. And you're always going to have multiple sides to every argument. If you have a group says this, you're always going to have one to try to dispute it. I mean, whatever case it may have you, but they have studies where it's shown that those telomere caps, even if it's not totally responsible, it's at least an indicator of the process of aging. And you go back and you start to read on the studies, and a lot of the stuff does coincide, because you start looking and you see shortened telomeres have also been shown in people who had cancer, coronary heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, and arthritis, just to name a few. And it's basically, you get those diseases because you're aging a lot faster. So instead of having that 40, 80, 120, you're constantly, and it gets there when it's coming a lot faster. So as it comes, the aging process hits you a lot faster. Now you're starting to get more diseases. I don't know if that makes sense, but as you get older, you notice that your body don't fight off certain things. But a lot of it, again, has to do with the way you lived your life. Because as you see, a lot of the things that I mentioned, especially you got the diabetes, hypertension, a lot of that comes with your lifestyle. Are you exercising regularly? Are you eating healthy? And again, before we get into the whole about how you eat, nobody say you can't be super, super strict, but you do have to eat a lot better. I mean, it's just like with your automobiles, and you're not going to put the wrong kind of gas in your car. You're not going to put low grades of oil in your car to keep it, so it can function properly. But we tend to do it all the time with our bodies. We don't exercise. We sit around. We watch TV all the time. We make 1,000 excuses. All of these things, and obesity is one of them as well. Let's not leave out, because telomeres can also be shortened and reduced by other stresses such as depression, trauma, and obesity, and they all coincide with each other. When you're sitting around, you're doing nothing, like the old saying, you don't use it, you lose it. It applies. Then you have the others that will come, well, man, I'm just, aging is normal. It is. Aging is normal. But how you handle it is not. You can still get out and do things. But so many people use that as an excuse to, okay, I don't need to do anything more. Especially, you see, I worked all my life. I got to the retirement age. Now I just want to relax. And relax for what? Just sit around and watch. That means you want to do things. I call retiring so you don't have to maybe work at a specific job. You can kind of do what you want, but remaining active is still, to me anyway, what life is all about. Traveling, seeing things, learning. I mean, everybody has their differences. Some people prefer to, some people just want to work the rest of their life. And that's fine, because you're still being active. But you have others that don't want to do much. And if you noticed, the people that don't do anything, they tend to, for lack of a better word, they tend to be quite miserable. They tend to complain a lot. They tend to be angry. I mean, when you're just watching programming all day, you're not really moving around. Your body starts to hurting. It's not able to move because it's sitting in one spot for so long. Your body adjusts. So the ligaments that may have been just say 10 inches long to be able to allow you to get up and down, they're shortening to 8 to 7 inches because now you're sitting down. So it's going to try to be adjust to become more convenient and comfortable for what you're doing the most. So if you're not doing anything, it's going to make it feel comfortable for you to sit down. So then as you actually start moving again, it's going to cause some pain in the beginning. So your best bet is to just, keep active. And it just keeps you young in general, young in mind. And you'll be amazed what the human brain is capable of if you put it to use for other than just watching things all the time and, talking and running off at the mouth about something you saw on TV. Get down to it. You do have physical things, and or at some point, the body will start to break down. But it's all about the quality of life you have while you're here. You have plenty that. I don't know nobody want to live forever anyway. Oh, nobody say you want to live forever. Okay, that's not a problem. But while I am here, I want it to be a full life. I want to be able to do things, but you have to be interested in doing things. But you'll be amazed that you start getting yourself on a regular program, moving around, exercising, and you still have time to watch programming if that's what you choose to do. But do you want to watch it in pain, or do you want to watch it where you're comfortable and still be able to do things that you've always been able to do? I mean, when does it get to a point where you just stop wanting to do things? And that is the reason why I tend to say it's a lot more mental than it is physical. I mean, because the physical thing is going to happen. I mean, at some point, there's no avoiding it. But you can control how it goes by taking care of this vehicle that you use more than anything else you have on this planet of existence, on this planet, in this state, in this country, whatever. This is your ultimate vehicle. Your brain is the driver and it's controlling this vehicle. How you take care of it is how you end up feeling. But if you're getting bombarded day in and day out with, I mean, you see all of the medication commercials. If you're feeling pain here, take this. If you're feeling something here, take that. If you're depressed, take this. If you can't get up and down, take this. I mean, it's just a bombardment of things. And when you see something and you think, all right, I had a little pain in my back. And then you're seeing stuff on commercials to take something for your back. You're like, okay, I'll try that. Maybe that'll relieve the pain. But you're relieving the pain for what? Because you're not doing anything. So you're taking that, and then it might stop the pain there. Then it's going to cause the pain somewhere else. Because, I mean, when you look at any of them, you might be fixing something, but the list of side effects are so long. They got to get a speed talker, a speed reader to name them all in the 30-second spot. Like if you just talked at a normal pace, it wouldn't even be enough room in the commercial just for the side effects. So again, I'll go back into it. Mental state, how you see yourself, how you project yourself is where you're ultimately going to end up and be able to enjoy life. And going now to jump back into the physical and touch base back on the telomere caps that I was speaking about earlier. Even have now they have studies within what is it Stanford, the Stanford School of Medicine, where they're modifying RNA, which is ribonucleic acid, that encodes the telomere, extending protein to cultured human cells to help slow down the aging process. So basically, they're adding length to the telomere caps, which in theory, what they're working on is extending the aging process. So it's trying to, you see, obviously they're working on it. And again, these are all in studies, things you can just go and look up. You look up telomere caps, you go and look up chromosomes, and you'll find a lot of information on these studies. And I mean, you go back because it goes all the way back to how when they they say we developed from apes, and because the chromosomes were very similar, and but there are differences, and I guess it was saying because humans have 46 chromosomes, which are 23 pairs, and the apes have 48 chromosomes, which are 24 pairs. So you see those two chromosomes or one pair. It doesn't sound like much, but apparently it's a lot, which contributed to the development of humankind the way it is now. And so in the studies, they tried to figure out what it was, that why is there a difference, and you you end up seeing the theory was that either it can be the humans are missing those two chromosomes because two of them fused together to make less. You had others where you thought it was more, but it ended up being more so the theory of that is they were fused together, but even that is subject to argument. So, anytime anything comes out, it's going to be subject to argument. And it was a lot to do with the chromosome number two. And the banding of the human chromosome 2 closely matches that of two separate chromosomes found in the apes, the chimp chromosome 2 and an extra chromosome that doesn't match any type of human chromosome. And theory has it where that is the reason why we have two less than the apes. And I guess it contributed to us having a higher form of intelligence, but sometimes we don't have a higher form of intelligence. But as you get to read, you start seeing that they're working on these things to try to extend and delay the aging process. Because even though we don't know what they're going to do with it, because sometimes they'll probably use it for products for skin or something where basically it's going to be something they're going to use to make money off of. It's not for the betterment of humankind. It's for someone to make a profit, and if you want to live a little longer, you're going to have to pay. But a lot of the stuff, like again, they'll be selling everything soon. So I mean, they'll be selling age, they'll be selling time, they'll be selling air, they'll be selling what I mean, who knows what they're gonna get into next. But as far as you working on yourself, as far as working on this aging process, it starts with your state of mind. You have to mentally tell yourself, look, I'm still doing what I want to do. I'm still doing all the things that I used to do. To an extent, but I'm stretching, I'm doing yoga, I'm meditating, I'm working out, I can run still, you still can do all of these things. Certain things, yeah, you're gonna have to watch you like jumping from high heights and all that stuff. Yeah, you tone it down a little bit on that, but you can still do a lot of things and get out and about, get out, and get out. If anything taught you from 2 years ago when they had the pandemic, and people worried about finally actually took notice of their health a little bit, being healthy, eating good, exercising the body actually fights off a lot of the diseases out here that you shouldn't be getting because, again, if you're not doing anything, your body breaks down. But again, long term, it starts up here. Starts up here in your head. Think young. That's what you're going to be. Sacrifice a few of these little sweets and foods you're addicted to have a better quality of life. And that's pretty much what it comes down to. You want to be younger, manifest it, think it constantly. Think that as much as you think of all this negativity out here. And you'll be surprised how much better you're feeling, how much better you're moving, how much better you're doing. So I'm going to leave it at there for today. I'd like to thank you all again for tuning in to Weapon H, All in One Podcast. Make sure you guys, again, hit that subscribe button, hit those notifications, hit those likes, and tell a friend. And also, definitely make sure you comment. Comment on anything said in the episodes, and we can get the discussion going and make it a community. So take care of yourselves. Take that old word outside of your vocabulary. And I'll see you soon. Next episode, Weapon H, All in One Podcast.